Hi there, I'm Mrs. Morandi, and today we'll be completing this makeup lesson on adding mixed fractions with regrouping. Go ahead and grab your math notebook so that you can practice your problems in your notebook and so you're able to write down the definitions we're going to learn today. So first we're going to begin by adding together some regular fractions that you're used to working with. Here we have 2/5 and we want to add 1/5 to this. So our answer is still going to be made up of 5 parts. We're just taking our fractional parts and we're combining them into one box. So our answer is going to show 3/5. This is a proper fraction. Our numerator up top is smaller than our denominator on the bottom. If we take that same 3/5 fraction, but this time we add 4/5 to it, again our answer will be made up of 5 parts. We'll take our first 3 sections of our first fraction, but when we add our 4/5, we run out of space. So in order to find an answer, we have to add another box broken into fifths down there. When we combine them, we can add our numerators together to see that there are a total of 7 pieces filled in. And again, our denominator stays the same. It is still divided into 5 pieces. When you have a numerator that is larger than the denominator, this is called an improper fraction. There's nothing wrong with the fraction, you just have so many pieces you had to start another box. This first fraction is made up of 5/5 and this second fraction is made up of 2/5. 5/5 is the same as 5 divided by 5. This is one whole group and we have our fractional part of 2/5 down below. So another way to show 7/5 is to say 1 and 2/5. This is called a mixed fraction or a mixed number. So now let's get your math notebook out and let's make sure that we write down these key words. An improper fraction is where you have a numerator that is larger or equal to your denominator. Again, there is nothing wrong with improper fractions. It just means we have more pieces than what our object is divided into. So when we show our answers, we can take an improper fraction and turn it into a mixed fraction. We want to pull out all of the whole groups that we have in our fraction and then show the remainder in our fractional part of our mixed fraction. So take a moment to write in your math notebook an improper fraction along with its definition and example, and also a mixed fraction with its definition and example. Unpause the video when you are done. Great. Now we're going to take a look at an example when we have a mixed fraction and we want to add together another mixed fraction. So this first example, we have 2 whole groups and a fractional part of 5/9. In our second number, we are adding 1 whole group and a fractional part of 3/9. So when you add your mixed fractions together, the first thing you want to look at is you want to look at the fractional part. These have the same denominator, so I can keep the denominator and I can add my numerators together. 5 plus 3 gives me a total of 8. And I can show you by combining these fractions together. My fractional parts now are going to be made up of 8/9. Now I can add my whole groups together to get a total of 3. And you can see as I've combined these, 1, 2, 3 whole groups and a fractional part of 8/9. If you were to take this same problem up top, but add another fraction where we have more pieces shaded in, you are going to come up with an improper fraction in your answer. To give this answer in its lowest terms, you have to regroup that fraction to find all of the whole groups in there and then show your answer as a mixed fraction with a proper fractional part. So let's start by adding our fractional parts together. 5 plus 6 give me 11 as my numerator. It is still made up of 9 parts, so my denominator stays the same. This again is an improper fraction because the numerator is larger than the denominator. If I show this in a picture and regroup these pieces up to here, I can see that this is made up of 1 whole group of 9/9 plus 2/9. So this fraction 11/9 we can show as 1 and 2/9. It is one whole group of 9/9, 1 times 9, plus 2 extra pieces. That takes care of all 11 pieces. We can also show this in a division problem. 11/9 is 11 divided by 9. When you divide 11 by 9, you are able to get one whole group of 9 out of that. And when you subtract, you find that there is a remainder of 2. So your quotient, your answer, becomes your whole number. Your remainder becomes your numerator, and your denominator stays the same, just like it does anytime we are adding or subtracting fractions together. So now that we have our mixed number down here, 1 and 2/9, which is equal to 11/9, we are going to regroup this whole number with our other whole numbers here. So let's take this, carry it up on top, and we are going to add these all together. So we get a total of 4 whole groups and a fractional part of 2/9. And you can see, looking at our pictures up here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 whole groups and a fractional part of 2/9. Let's take a look at some examples without pictures here. You can think of this as adding together fractional parts and adding together whole numbers. Let's first combine our fractional parts. First thing I check is that my denominators are the same. They are, so my denominator will stay the same. And I will add together my two numerators, 2 plus 4. This gives me a numerator of 6. 6/5, again, is the same as 6 divided by 5. We are looking for a whole group of 5. We get one whole group of 5 out of there, and we have a remainder of 1. So we find that 6/5 is equal to one whole group with 1/5 as a fractional part. I'm going to take my fractional part and put it in my answer, and I'm going to carry my whole number over into my group with the whole numbers. I add my whole numbers together to get a total of 12, and I get 12 and 1/5 as my answer. Let's take a look at another example. Again, I'm going to divide my fractional parts from my whole number groups. I'm going to combine my fractional parts together here. 6 plus 7 is 13 over 9, my denominator. 13/9 is 13 divided by 9. When I divide 13 by 9, I get one whole group. I subtract, and I find a remainder of 4. So one whole group, a fraction of a numerator of 4, and my denominator stays the same. 13/9 is the same as 1 and 4/9. And you can look at this because one whole is equal to 9/9. And if you add 4/9, you'll see that this will get you right back to that 13/9 that you started with. So now we need to take our fractional part, 4/9, and place it in our fractions column. And we need to regroup this whole number with our other whole numbers to get a total of 7 whole groups and a fraction of 4/9. Take a look at this first problem. In your math notebook, try to solve this on your own. First, add together your fractional parts, regroup this to get a mixed number, and then make sure you add that mixed fraction to your other whole numbers. Unpause the video when you're done. And welcome back. So when you add the two fractions together, you get 4/4. Well, 4 divided by 4 is going to just equal 1. When you have no remainder, that means you have no fractional part. This is just equal to one whole. So you regroup your one whole into your whole groups, and your answer is just 14. There is no fractional part. If your numerator is 0, the value is 0. Take a look at our second example. Draw your dividing line between your whole number groups and your fractional parts. Add your fractions together and regroup. Pause the video, try it on your own, and unpause when you're ready. And welcome back. Adding my fractional pieces together, I get a fraction of 12/8. When I divide 12 by 8, I get one whole group and a remainder of 4. So my mixed fraction that is equal to 12/8 is one whole group of 8/8 plus 4/8 as my fraction. I'm going to regroup my fractional part into my fraction here, and my whole number will join my whole number group. I add them all together, and I get 8 4/8 as my answer. Now it's your turn to practice them on your own. Be sure to print your worksheet and return it to your teacher to receive credit for this makeup assignment. Thank you.